Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Well, we're still talking about May 10th, but probably not in the way that you expected it. Besides being our election day, May 10th was a very serious day worldwide as people considered World Lupus Day, and the month of May is actually dedicated to lupus awareness. It's so important that we spread the word about a disease that really impacts many people here in the Bahamas, and we're going to talk more about that this morning. To share with us, we've got Dr. Neil Parker. He's a rheumatologist at Caribbean Health. And we've got Shauna Lee King. She's a master PR agent, if you didn't know, but she's also a member of Lupus 242. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A joy to have you with us, but for a really serious conversation on lupus, and for those that might not be aware, could you let us know exactly what lupus is?
Well, lupus is an autoimmune disease where the body's immune system begins to treat parts of itself like a foreign agent, like an infectious agent, and what you get is inflammation of various different parts of the body, which can lead to the symptoms of the disease.
Okay. And is this something that significantly impacts the population? Because I can think of quite a few people I know with lupus, and I don't know how real my reality is in comparison to what the statistics are, but do we think that this is something of great significance here in the country?
Well, yes, lupus affects mainly young women of reproductive age, and it has a particularly high prevalence relative to other populations and people of color. So that would definitely put the Bahamas, as based on our demographics, as a country would have a high incidence of lupus relative to other countries. And the condition can be difficult to diagnose, and so you can have patients with ongoing symptoms for years. Wow. And so a lot of patients will end up with serious disease before they even come to, before they get a diagnosis.
Wow, okay. And so I know, like, when I think about people that I know with lupus, for the most part they tend to be women. Is it that this disease affects them predominantly more than men? Because you did mention reproductive, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the disease itself.
It's long been established that it predominantly involves females. The exact mechanism and why that is so is not well defined, but that is definitely the case.
Okay, and certainly you have been, as a member of Lupus 242, you are a person that's living with lupus?
No, I'm not actually. Okay. My mother and my late sister both lived with lupus for many years. Okay. Mom for 40 years, my sister for over 20. Okay. But I work as a part of the Lupus 242 group. It is a support group, and our goal is to raise the awareness and to also look at options for our members as far as treatment, etc.
Okay. So what are some of the types of treatment that are available to something like this?
Well, in terms of managing lupus, the strategy would be obviously to reduce the effect of any flares, but also to suppress the activity and minimize the risk of harming them. So sunlight is one of the things that or ultraviolet radiation in the sunlight, we know can drive lupus. Okay. So any patient with a diagnosis of lupus should be wearing sunblock on a regular basis. There's also medication available that reduces the incidence of flares. Many lupus patients would be aware of a medicine called hydroxychloroquine. We give it to them primarily because in addition to treating skin and joint symptoms, it tends to dampen down the disease and reduce the incidence of flares. And once you have a diagnosis, because many of the symptoms many of the manifestations are not symptomatic, following up with the physician regularly is a part of good care of a lupus patient.
Okay. Now, Shauna Lee, you've mentioned that your mom would have lived with this for 40 years, your sister for 20. I know someone that passed away from lupus, and I remember that as like a young child, this person leaving, and they said, well, she had lupus, and so she's not with us anymore. For people living with lupus now, has the medication advanced, technology advanced, the support systems advanced to the place where you can live a life fulfilling with lupus, or is this a death sentence?
I definitely believe that lupus is not a death sentence. I think that the treatment options have been a bit lagging, but it is not a death sentence. Okay. Many persons are living lives with lupus with proper care and being very engaged with their physician to ensure that they are managing the illness.
Okay. Now I see you all wearing purple, and I've associated purple with lupus awareness.
Correct.
So I think I got that right. But what are some of the activities that you have planned this month to make people really aware about the disease and the challenges that people face who have it?
Sure. So this month, we are halfway through the month, but every Friday in this month we are in a partnership with Alive, and every Friday we are encouraging people to put on purple for lupus, tell people why, get online, use the hashtag MyAlive and the hashtag Lupus242 just to show support and raise the awareness. Chance to win a free phone, so that's a great thing.
Okay.
And then also on Saturday, May 20th, we're going to have Hope Floats. This is our 5th year doing this. This is an in-memory event that we have a ceremony balloon release on top of Fort Charlotte to remember those who would have lost the battle with lupus.
Okay.
And finally, we are going to have a health talk with Dr. Parker on Saturday, May 27th at the University of the Bahamas. And that's just a way for us to engage our membership and also persons in the community who would have seen the awareness and now have more questions.
Okay, excellent. And certainly people would want to be engaged if they aren't already, those who are watching the show for the first time, maybe just hearing about the support group. How can they keep in touch with Lupus 242?
Sure. The best way to reach us is to get on our Facebook page. It's Lupus 242. Reach out to us there, and you will be able to get information on when our meetings are held, and also to become a part of our network. We have a active WhatsApp group. We communicate on a daily basis just with our membership to make sure that people are, living their best life with lupus.
All right. Well, we want to thank you both so much for joining us today. Certainly at Health Talk, if you've got more questions than me, for Dr. Parker, who of course is one of the most brilliant doctors in the country, you can join them at that Health Talk at the University of Bahamas on the 27th. What time does it start?
Yes, it starts at 12, ends at 2.
Starts at 12 and ends at 2. And of course, we want to encourage you to wear purple on Friday. I'm not going to be here, but Phil is going to wear his purple tie to make sure that we're reminding people of lupus awareness. And then you can join them at Lupus242 on Facebook.
That's correct.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise. And of course, we're sending all of our love to those persons who are living and thriving with lupus, and reminding you to get in touch with this amazing group. We'll be right back after this commercial break.